Greetings, everyone. My name is Sister Hadassah, and you're tuned in to Empower Her. First, I want to give honor to God. I want to give honor to Pastor. I want to give honor to First Lady Ty, and I also want to give honor to Minister Cooper. Thank you all for this opportunity. The topic for today is pursuing the call of God. When we think about pursuing the call of God, it might sound a little scary, but trust me, it's worth it. I'm going to start us off with scripture from Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. It says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." That tells us right there that you and I were both called before we were even formed in our mother's womb. That's comforting to know. That this call that God has me pursuing was ordained long before, right? So, what does pursuing the call of God look like? I put together a short list of what I believe it looks like, right? First thing is alignment. We gotta be aligned, right? We gotta make sure that this call that we're pursuing is one that was given by God and not ourselves. It's not one that we think God is calling us to, or we feel like we should be called to, or not one that we call ourselves to, but simply one that God has called us to. And that's being in alignment. That's that alignment part, right? The other thing is being fully surrendered. God, here's my desires. Here's my will. Here's my everything. Not my will, but your will be done. It's relying on Him for everything. It's relying on Him for understanding as well. Because we must also submit our understanding. Proverbs 3 and 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." That means whatever you say, God. Even it's not about what I think. I surrender my thoughts. I surrender my understanding, God. Because we're going to think and we're going to feel differently at times. But again, not my will, but your will be done. Right? So we have to surrender everything. So that way we don't get into self and how we feel things should be going or what it should look like, right? The other thing is being obedient. God will give us a plan on how to execute that call. We are to follow it step by step. We're not to be disobedient. And when He tells us make a left turn, we make a right turn because we felt like the right was better. One, that's leaning on your own understanding. But two, that's being disobedient. He said to make a left. So we are to really follow that plan step by step, no matter what we think. Right? No matter what we think. And I'm also speaking to myself as I pursue the call of God as well. Right? The other thing is trusting God. Trusting that He has a plan for us and there's an expected end to this thing. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." Scripture speaks for itself. It tells us right there and then that the thoughts that He thinks towards us are peace. It's not evil. In the moment, some things might not feel comfortable. It's not going to feel evil, but it might feel comfortable. But just know there's an expected end to everything, right? And He'll give us peace. Like it says, thoughts of peace. The thoughts that He thinks toward us, right? So God has our best interests at heart. And that's something that we should trust him for. We should trust him with. We should know, right? That God got us. There's something at the end of this, right? So that's my small list, but I also wanted to read the scripture, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31. It says, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." And this scripture, I really want us to hold on to it, because pursuing the call of God, as good as we know it is, through it, that journey can sometimes feel a little hard, right? It feels a little rough. It feels like we get weak sometimes. We get tired, like, God, this is how this is, and I feel depleted. I feel drained. God, I need you. Help me. Like, it can get tiring, right? It can be hard, honestly, right? But scripture tells us right there that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. And our pastor spoke a couple Wednesdays ago about what wait looks like in this scripture. And it means being bound together. It means being intertwined with God. Give God your strength and take his strength. He'll give us a renewed strength. Give God your burdens and take his burden, right? Take his yoke upon you, right? And just know, even though we feel a certain type of way in the journey, that we're not going to faint, right? We're not going to fall, right? We're not going to be weary. So it's just an encouraging word for you guys tonight. Pursuing the call of God. It may not be easy. It may not feel good in the moment of it, but it truly is worth it. There is an expected end. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Good night.